Welcome back to the Top 100 Lacrosse Pack podcast. This is the Crease Dive. College Lacrosse is back. This is your new host, a new voice, Doogs. We are joined by intern Nest. You guys are going to notice that Jordie is not with us. Yep, if you're tuning in for the first time this season, Jordie is taking a step back from the podcast because he had sex one singular time, one time only, and he's got a new job as a father. But we have intern Nest on the mic. We're going to have people coming in and out of the podcast. But Nest, need to talk to you first. How you doing, brother?
I can't complain at all, Doogs. It's good to be here. I think you said it best. Jordie is a sex haver. I think that's pretty cool. And I'm
one of us had to be.
Yes, that's very correct. It's damn sure not me. I can't speak for Doogs, but just happy it's one of the three. I'm just excited to step in and be ready to rock with you.
Yeah, Ness, I know you have a girlfriend, right?
Yep.
I can only speak for myself, but yeah, I have a girlfriend. She hates my guts, but it is nice to know that like looking at Jordie, people I think in the lacrosse business look at what Jordie did and they're like, wow, look at that's who I could be, a lacrosse podcaster. And it's nice to know that being a lacrosse podcaster, one day I could get sex out of it. So Jordie, you're an inspiration to all of us out there.
Yes. Shout out Jordie and thank you, Jordie. It's more of a tangible goal now, knowing that I know someone who's capable of doing that.
Yeah. It's kind of like when the neighborhood guy, like he goes like D1 in lacrosse or something, like, that could be me. Like, and then like Jordie has sex one time and I'm like, you know what? Maybe a lacrosse podcaster can get laid one day.
I'm with you 100% there, Dukes.
So how do you feel with the college lacrosse back?
I feel good. I had a real lazy weekend, nothing out of the ordinary for me. Got to watch all the lacrosse games sitting on the comfort of my couch. A couple edibles here, a couple edibles there. Didn't go out to any bars, kept it nice and low. So I got a pretty good feel on the games on Saturday, but it was week 0. So everyone's sort of just seeing what works. My favorite game to watch was that Hopkins game. So we'll dive into that a little bit later, but it was just good. It was good to have lacrosse back on the screen, and it started off hot with Mercer and I believe it was Holy Cross was the first game of the day.
No, Holy Cross played Providence, but it was a Mercer High Point. It was close.
Mercer High Point.
HH, purple teams. Yes, you're not that wrong. Look,
it's tough.
You were a goalie at Charleston, not Cabrini. Not Cabrini like the shrine that you have in the back. No, but you were a goalie at Cabrini. How are you seeing the ball on Saturday? Was the ball whipping around? Were you seeing it well on the TV? How is it seeing the ball compared to live action to on the TV?
Some of the better quality streams on ESPN, I'm honing in on that ball. It looked like a big red kickball, and some of those blurrier streams, farther back, like that Mercer stream was back behind the crowd. Mm-hmm. It's a little harder to see that ball, but when I got my eyes on it, I'm still tracking it well. I'm good at guessing the mile per hours when the PLL comes around. I like to get the guess out there when they show the speed in the bottom corner. But no, I got to give a shout out to the goalies. Week 0 is hard. You've been seeing rubber from your own fellas all week, all month, and then you got to step in. And these attackmen and middies are just trying to absolutely embarrass you. I mean, the first low to high we saw in that 4K in that Hopkins game was absolutely gorgeous.
We'll get to that.
Oh,
yeah. And I just want to say, I know it's college lacrosse season, but the one thing that I think the PLL really honed, and you're talking about seeing the ball well. You played college lacrosse. I didn't. I wasn't as good because I couldn't see the ball well. And I need the PLL ball to be incorporated in college lacrosse. Going from watching that on TV and like in person to seeing the white lacrosse ball, I don't know if it's just me. Like it's kind of like seeing the puck. I think the PLL ball needs to be implemented in college lacrosse everywhere. Like it just does not make sense to me. I think that I don't care if you like college lacrosse better than PLL. And people that know me know that I like the PLL better, but I need that yellow ball everywhere in lacrosse. Well, do you have any thoughts on that?
So I was never big on colored balls growing up. When I got to college and started playing, you get the 6 a.m.s and you're a little groggy, and you go to an indoor facility and these kids are shooting 100, high 90s and low hundreds. A colored ball definitely would have helped. I think growing up, I sort of just chalked it up as if it's not white, I don't care. And then when I got to college, it would have been nice to have, an orange, a yellow in there. But I personally think orange is at least to my eyes, I think that's the easiest ball to see as a goalie, especially indoors. So indoors is tough.
Yeah, as a goalie, I didn't see color. Any ball that got shot at me, I would take and accept. But no,
I love
I
it.
think I like the tennis ball color on the TV. But I do agree, almost like as a goalie, two goalies here chopping it up. There's nothing harder. There you like if I ever got like scouted and it was like a white ball inside an arena or like indoors or a white ball
Yeah.
in the snow, you're getting 15 easy on me. Shooting from
Yeah.
fucking midfield. I'm not saving that shit.
Yeah, we used to go to an indoor facility, Cabrini, and it's a smaller field. The guys are closer. They're not taking anything off their shots. You just got to hope coach brings out the tennis balls or we had these soft white ones. And when he'd bring those out, it was just like the best 20 minutes. You're just like, wow,
Yeah.
nothing's going to hurt. I'm invincible. And then, he takes the softies away and you're like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like you got to just keep the soft ones out for me just today while we're inside. They're shooting 90 from 7 out, coach.
Yeah, I saw Jordie had something like that. He was like, coaches that are warming up the goalies today. Remember, this isn't for the goalies. This is for you. Just like tuck it far under. And I was just like, fucking A. Like, I remember like now looking back at like coaches warming me up, they were probably just like, fuck, like I feel good today. It's like when you see one go by, when you're like shooting in basketball, you see one go in, you're like, I feel it. Like coaches must be like, yo, if I suited up today.
That's like, especially if you're not the one. Usually, that one goalie, the guy getting the start, gets a quality. They're getting their points when those 2, 3s, and 4s and 5s get in there in college. I mean, those coaches are just having a shooting gallery. The accuracy's gone. They're dropping their sticks. They're just out there having a good time. So I respect it. I would do the same. But like you said, sometimes you're in the net. You're like, what the fuck? I thought this was my warm up.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just jump right into things right here. Segue a little bit. Ness, you gone?
No, I'm here. No worries.
Okay, you're here. All right. So I just want to say, like, let people know first. This isn't going to be the podcast that me and Jordie did. There won't be like a dynamic that me, Jake, Jordie had. This is obviously Jordie's baby. Me and Ness aren't trying to be Jordie. We're not trying to be, like redo what me and Jordie like established. Me and Jake, Jordie established. But we're going to incorporate some things that we did in the past. We're going to try some new things out. We're going to do the best we can. We're going to try to we're trying to be the number 1 lacrosse podcast on Rumble. We're trying to be a top 100 lacrosse podcast in general. So starting out first, we're going to do a fuck, marry, kill segment. And as I'm looking at Nestler in that helmet, I think that that might be my fuck. No, I'm kidding. But here, I guess, Ness, you want to go first for fuck, marry, kill?
Yeah, I got you. I got you with 3
first.
good ones. We're going fuck, marry, kill in the lacrosse world. We're staying away from the humans.
Right, like fuck, marry, kill.
Inanimate objects.
Maybe like last weekend's games, anything in the lacrosse world. Let's get anything.
I got 3 classics that any good lacrosse fan in the last 20 years will have some hard time choosing between, especially goalies. So your 3 options are the Eclipse lacrosse goalie heads. 1, 2, or 3. I believe there's a 3rd generation out now. We're going the original Pro 7 helmet, the OG Pro 7, and then the 3rd one is Homewood Field. So I'm going to make you choose between those 3 iconic lacrosse equipments and field there. So the floor is yours, Doogs.
You want me to fuck, marry, kill a Pro 7 Homewood Field, and what was the last other one?
An Eclipse goalie head. If you were an Eclipse guy, I have a 3rd option for you.
Kill the Eclipse goalie head. I wasn't an Eclipse guy. I'd fuck the Pro 7. Yeah, I fucked the Pro 7 because I could never get with the Pro 7. The Pro 7, my head was too tiny. I couldn't fit in the Pro 7. It's like kind of like that girl you couldn't get with in middle school. I was a CPXR guy. So you
had that shit tight on your head, didn't you?
Yeah, I couldn't even see out of the top. So I'm going to fuck the Pro 7. I'm going to marry Homewood Field. You always got to marry the girl that you can't get with either there. And then I'm going to kill the Eclipse.
You're going to kill the Eclipse. See, I was loyal to the Eclipse, so I thought I might have gotten you there. Were you a Nemesis guy back in the day?
I think I was. Maybe like a shield towards high school. I forget what your name was.
Dukes, you've done a lot for me, and I really appreciate you. But, I mean, you should have known it was never going to go right then and there.
I know. Look, it was never going to go right. Some people, like I said this to like all the time, some people dreamed of playing Division I, D2, D3 lags. I dreamed of being a lacrosse podcaster.
That's admirable.
What's your answer for fuck, marry, kill?
I'm gonna marry the Eclipse, because it's near and dear to my heart. And I'm probably gonna fuck the Pro 7 because that was the swag back in the day. Little 7-year-old to 14-year-old me and Chatham had a Pro 7 on. I felt like I had it the first year it came out, and I wore it until the X's and S's were coming out. I remember wearing. I believe I might have worn a Pro 7 my senior year of high school, which is still pretty late. And I'm gonna have to kill Homewood. That's coming at the history of the game there a little bit, but. I was never a big dream of mine to play on Homewood. However, if the PLL is looking for a goalie to sub in one day, I would play at Homewood. But no, I'm going to kill Homewood there for sure. Dead.
I'll go with mine.
On Saturday.
Go with mine really quick. I'm going to fuck Hunter Chauvet's shot. Hunter Chauvet, Hopkins, freshman, next Mac O'Keefe. With the most beautiful shot I've ever seen in my life. I watched it maybe 500 times. It was legitimately just straight to the spank bank. It was the most beautiful shot I've ever seen in my life. We're going to be able to watch that for 4 years. Do you even get a COVID year with this guy? When do COVID years stop? Is that going to stop anytime soon? I'm just going to assume that everyone just gets a COVID year for the next 10 years. So we'll probably get 5 years of this guy. He'll probably be the number 4 draft pick in the PLL. And we'll watch this guy shoot beautiful shots for the next 30 years. But Hunter Chauvet, I want to fuck your shot. What I'm going to marry. Actually, let's go what I'm going to kill. What I'm going to kill. Let me pull up his name. I want to kill. I want to get the name right. I want to kill Will Barnes, the BU goalie. Not even kidding. He might be the best goalie in the country after yesterday. I watched St. Joe's versus BU. We had this guy at work, Diego, who I might actually have to kill instead. And he gave out St. Joe's money line, lock of the year. Everyone in the office takes it. We played against the best goalie of all time in Will Barnes. So Will Barnes, this isn't really a choice. There's nothing against you, but I'm going to have to kill you. You legitimately ruined my day, ruined half of Barstool's reputation, ruined Diego's reputation. Will Barnes,
Diego.
Yeah, shout out Diego, great guy. Happy birthday, by the way. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Diego.
Will Barnes fucked Diego so hard. I'm gonna have to kill him just because he might be the best goalie in the world. And what I'm gonna marry. Drum roll, please. The PLL Bar Down Lounge in Springfield, Virginia, right outside DC. Me, Nest, Frank the Tank, Dana. We're going to go down there next week. I'm going to be there from the 14th to the 19th, full week basically. Should be a great time. Link is in the Crease Dive bio. It's on Twitter. You can get it everywhere, but it should be a great time. I went last year. It's one of the most fun things that you can do in lacrosse. So many goals, so many beers. Field side access, you get right on top of the players. It's an experience like none other that you can go to in lacrosse. If you've never seen sixes, I highly recommend going to it. I know that sixes isn't for everybody, but if you like a good time, just come check it out. It's a place where the only lacrosse game I think that the goals exceed the beers drinking because it's legitimately 60 goals a game. I don't even think it's I tried last year to do a beer every goal. We didn't even make it past the first quarter.
Oh my goodness!
So fucking hard. But yeah, I want to marry the PLL Bar Down Lounge. Look, and I did dry January, lost some weight, been running again, been on my workout grind, drinking fucking green juices, and I am ready to let that all loose for the next week.
I love it.
And people that know me know that I put up fucking Wilt Chamberlain numbers in the Bar Down Lounge. I'm going to be. I don't even know if I can say this now. I'm going to be you're
going to be responsibly.
I'm going to be responsibly mangled. And I know that Dana's going to be putting up a historic performance himself. It's going to be a blast. You don't want to miss it. If you're anywhere in the 2-hour radius or even if you're in a 5-hour radius, I highly recommend you come. Frank the Tank coming. Dana Beer's coming. Me and Ness just along for the ride. Happy to be there. It should be a great time.
All right. I respect that, Mary fuck kill. You started off very strong with saying you were going to fuck Hunter Chauvet, however you pronounce his last name.
His shot.
the shot may not have came through my audio, so
his shot might not have came, but I did.
He's unfucking believable. He's circled on my board. I'm gonna dive in a little bit more on him a little bit, but I'm gonna have to. I think I have the same list as you. I'm fucking his shot. I guess I have to kill this Tendy because he screwed you over. So I ride with Doogs. Like we said, it's nothing against the Tendy. He did his job. It's just you fucked Doogs. You fucked over Diego. And the Barstool people who were riding, they all lost their money. I was going to bet St. Joe's. However, losing my bets over the weekend, I decided to pull back a little bit and go, I'm not going to bet this game. Luckily, I wasn't on the Diego crew. And then I'm going to marry the Bar Down Lounge. I've never been down to the Champ Series. The rumors and stories I've heard of Doogs and the videos I've seen, which I'm sure a lot of the internet's seen, are unbelievably hilarious. I'm hoping for another sideline interview just to witness Doogs in his element. I did have one question for you, Doogs. With us going down Wednesday, Valentine's Day, shout out our girlfriends.
I'm fucked.
Who we will both not be with on Valentine's Day. I want to know what you need out of me that night. What's my quota for responsible beers drank? I'm trying to get my name just within 50 feet of the rafters. You're up there. I'm not worried about what Dana Beers is going to do there, just his performance on Twitter and Instagram and social media in general. The beer community is not worried about him, but I need to know what I need to do in your eyes to get up there.
You need to drink so much that you forget that it's Valentine's Day and that your girlfriend hates you, to be honest. You just need to just drink as much as you possibly can. But it's not even about the beers you drink. It's not even the beers you drink. It's the memories you make, and it's the friends you make along the way, and the friends that you forget, and the friends that you see again at a Bar Down Lounge. You're like, oh, fuck, I forgot that I met you. Oh, shit. I see you in Baltimore. I forgot that we met in DC already. So like those friends that you make along the way that you're kind of like, how do I know you? It's like, oh, I saw you at the Bar Down Lounge last year. It's like, oh yeah. Those are the friends you're supposed to make on Wednesday night. That
reminds me a little bit of when I met Dan Arestia for the first time down at
Baltimore.
Homewood, down at Baltimore, and I was drinking with Doogs. You know, when Doogs says jump, I jump. When Doogs says sit, I sit, and we had a great time.
No, don't make me see.
Whoa! I'm not blaming Doogs. Just saying we had a great time together. I'm his sidekick. I'm right there. I'm his Robin to his Batman. So we're there having a good time. The Sunday rolls around. I'm banged up, and I see Dan Arestia, and I shake his hand. I say, "It's a pleasure to meet you." Like, big fan. And he looked me dead in the eyes and he said, we met yesterday, buddy. I was so fucking certain we didn't meet. I was like, no, we didn't. He was like, no, you were bombed. I was like, nah, like I remember every second of yesterday. We did meet. And everyone around me was like, dude, you guys 100% met. So that's a good example of what the Bar Down Lounge can be like. I'm happy to say I'm a big fan of Dan's. I know he remembers that moment. He's thrown me a couple funny comments about it. It just cracks me up that I thought I was on my A game, and apparently I wasn't. But the Bar Down Lounge did not disappoint when I was there, so I'm very, very excited to see it in its indoor.
Let me clarify something for you. You were on your A game, like that right there.
I love that. That's fair. That's fair.
That's a Bar Down A game.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's jump in. Let's jump into last week's games a little bit. All right.
Let's do it.
So, obviously, I think the big game to look at was probably the Hopkins-Denver game. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I think that was the biggest.
Let's go into that. There's one other game that I'll say competed with that, but we'll go into Denver. Completes the comeback. I'm not sure how many goals it was exactly.
I believe they outscored Hopkins 7-1 from the start of the fourth quarter to overtime. So it was a pretty brutal collapse. My numbers are wrong there. I know they're pretty damn close.
I know that it was one of those. I was hungover because, again, it's February 1st. I turned on the TV for a little bit to watch the game. Next thing you know, I'm like, fucking Hopkins has this in the bag. Like, I get it. We see the storylines. I can go on the podcast, talk about like how Hunter Shawvet's like the next fucking real deal, the next coming of Mac O'Keefe. And then all of a sudden I'm like, let me just turn it back on. And I just catch the last minute. And the buzzer beater, holy shit, what a game. And I wish that it's one of those moments where like I could lie about, I could come on this podcast and be like, oh, like I watched every single second of every single game. But it's unrealistic. And I think that people that have been listening for the past couple of years know I'm a huge college basketball guy. I have other duties at Barstool with college basketball, so it's like I'm splitting hairs trying to watch everything I can. But I caught this game. JJ Silstrop, what a stud. 6 goals on the day. But he kind of ruined Hunter Chauvet's coming out party. But I would like to hear your thoughts on this game. I know you were pretty locked in on Hunter Chauvet and everything going on. So what's your thoughts?
So I actually followed this Hunter Chauvet kid on Instagram years ago. I came across a video of him absolutely ripping some goalie to shreds. And I was like, this kid's 7-8 years younger than me. I'm following him. And I'm going to message him, telling him whatever you're doing is working. Just keep doing it. I never fucking messaged the kid. Kind of forgot about him. He got out of my algorithm. I turn on the game and I see this kid shoot the ball. And I was like, holy fuck. And I see his name pop up on the screen. I'm like, that's the kid from like 5 years ago that I saw ripping twine when he was a freshman or sophomore in high school. And I'm just like, I go check my Instagram. I'm like, yep, 100% him. I see his Hopkins videos. I didn't even know he was going to Hopkins. And his shot is unbelievable. And it got me so fired up to be locked in on Lacrosse and just be able to watch the games and talk about them. Because, I mean, that's the shot kids dream of. You're in your backyard doing that low to high when you're growing up, whether you're a goalie, a long pole, a short stick D-midi, you're doing that shot in your backyard. I'd like to go back and see how many low to highs he has on his 6 goals this year, but he's special. I'm going to stop sucking his dick and we're going to move on. It was an epic collapse. I love the goalie for Hopkins. I thought he played unbelievable. I was cracking up watching him dive for balls at the end line that he wasn't even close. He's in the crease and there's a guy 4 feet from the end line. He's just like falling in the crease. He just loves getting dirty. Thought he played really well. Everyone knows him from Cornell. But just it's hard at the end when those balls start falling and you feel like you can't save it. There's nothing scarier than someone winding up from 15 out with time expiring, shooting through one of your defenders. I mean, I could have told you when that kid got the shot off that he wasn't, no matter the powers that be, were not going to allow Chase Erlin to save that shot. Yeah. And then Hopkins goes in man down and just fucking, they don't get the ball. I don't think they got the ball in overtime. Penalty runs out and Silstrop goes fucking low to high and same exact spot Hunter Chauvet did. So it was good. It was fun lacrosse.
Trying to see if I can share my screen right now just to show people that don't know Hunter Chauvet's. Let me see. I'm literally operating off of a fucking 2010 iMac. So here we go. Can you see this?
Oh, yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Then with that big shot.
I mean, the goalies. My one buddy said, "What, the goalie just guess?" I said, "That's really all you can fucking do." The kid's 8 yards out on the wing and just.
It's not even a guess. It's like the deception.
Yeah. I mean, that's
the deception from his hands and his shoulders. It looks like he's going to go low, and he just brings it up. I mean, that's legitimately, for my money. It's one shot, and I've seen this kid play. Isn't he from? I think he might be a Lawrenceville kid.
I have no clue where he's from. I think he's got a brother or a cousin on Hopkins that grew up in Cleveland. I think he grew up somewhere up north. I think he's got a Canada sticker on the back of his helmet. I got to do a little more research on him, but he's fucking good. He definitely played at Lawrenceville, that's for sure, but I'm not sure where he's from. I don't think he's from Jersey.
Oh, wait. Trying to pull this up next, and then here's the game winner. Look, it's week 1 for everybody. I am trying to produce and look up clips and I probably should have had this ready, but it's week 1 for everybody. All right. Can you guys see this?
We're getting loose. I can't see anything right now.
All right, let's try this then.
Oh yeah, here it comes.
JJ Silstrop. One pass to the top of the box for an outside shot. Screen.
Yeah.
So put this down. It's the guy right there who jumps up in front to screen chase Erlin.
I think it actually sneaks under that closest defenseman to us who backs up. I think it goes right by his leg.
But how much do you think, as a goalie yourself, how much do you think that jump right there by the guy on the crease actually affects the shot? Or not the shot, just the ability for Chase Erlin to see that.
I mean, it's tough because it's hard to tell what angles he's at. But I mean, there's nothing worse than someone shooting the ball through. It's such an unorthodox shot. I'm sure if he was even in the littlest bit of Chase Erlin's way, I mean, that shit sucks. It's it's something that doesn't happen a lot in lacrosse. There's not a lot of screen play. Like, it's not like hockey where goalies are trained since they're little. They're seeing the puck through all the defenders. Lacrosse is just there's too much space for that. So that's why it's just such like a lethal shot. And I think it was Quinn, whoever was on the call, basically scripted it up before it happened. And like I said, that sucks for a goalie. You're there and all you have to do is save the ball, and all you're thinking is like, don't let it in, don't let it in. And sure as hell he let it in. But I thought Hopkins played great. I bet on Hopkins. Like I said, every team I bet on loses. So I was rooting for Hopkins money line. I wasn't worried about the spread. So they broke my heart, but it's hard not to tip your cap to Denver there.
And then I wouldn't really consider that the first upset because, it was Matt Brown, Denver's first win as the Denver head coach after the Bill Tierney era.
Yep.
Hop is a team that I think can definitely make it back to championship glory, to championship weekend. Look, I called Hop dead like last year. I was so out on Milliman. John Crowley ends up I'm like one of the biggest John Crowley fans out there. I think he's going to make an incredible head coach, incredible guy, incredible recruiter. As soon as he got with Milliman, I kind of wanted to do the 180 on them, but it turns out that I'm a stubborn Long Island guy that can't back away from anything and can't back away from the take. So I'm willing now to back up from that take. Hop is very good, and I think that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with because that's a team that I think could win the Big Ten. Speaking of the Big Ten, we got our first upset there. Colgate takes down Penn State 13-12. Thoughts on that game? Thoughts on the upset? Thoughts on if Penn State and Tambroni are doomed this year, or if they can make it back for another Final Four run?
My first thought is I can't believe I didn't get Colgate money line. They closed the door at plus 1,800. I would love to see if there's anyone on the earth who had Colgate money line on DraftKings. If you're out there, send in your slip. If you want to Photoshop it and send it in, that's fine too. I'll believe you. I won't look at it for more than a second. But I didn't watch much of that game. I'm not sure if it was on ESPN. I was going between a lot of the games on ESPN, but I didn't really touch it. And then I started seeing highlights on Twitter, and that's got me a little invested. And someone was live tweeting, and for them to intercept the ball with 13 seconds left and just run right down the field and score a goal in the crease. I mean, it was a great party night at Colgate. I can tell you that for damn sure. To beat a team like Penn State feels great. To beat them like that, to sort of let them stick around the whole game. Colgate was up a lot, I believe. Usually when a team like Penn State finally gets that game tied, you're like, oh, fuck, they're going to end it somehow. And Colgate's the one that ends it right in the crease. I mean, those boys, they went home, they showered, and they fucking partied. And I love that. It's one of the best things about sports is getting a big win and partying with your boys. So I think Penn State isn't out. I think they have a deep roster. I think it's hard to make a run like they made last year. I think 2 years ago they weren't great, and then to make the run they made last year, I don't think it's realistic for them to drop all the way down again. Yeah. So I would expect Penn State to sort of bring it. I think they got a big game this week against Nova, so that'll be a little bit of a tougher test.
Yeah, and they got returners from last year, like TJ Malone had 8 points. But again, I think that Jack Fracken, the goalie for Penn State, caught a little bit of this one. Didn't play well in the beginning of last year. Turned it on towards the end. Turned into, I believe, one of the best goalies in the Big Ten and actually the nation in general. And he was a vital part in that Final Four run. But towards the beginning of the season, I really didn't trust him and didn't think he was, honestly, point blank, I didn't think he was very good. I thought that I could step in at some points and be like a better option for Penn State. No, I'm joking. But
hopping in there with your nemesis.
Yeah. But I mean, to save 35% of your shots. I'm big on if your goalie goes 60 and you go 60 from the X, you should win the lacrosse game. But 35% from Jack.
No, you can't be under 50 in a game. It'll happen, but you gotta try to keep that number. D1's tougher. You're right around 50, 55s, like that All-American sweet spot. D3, you get a lot of guys going 60%, but you can't be in 35. That's danger territory. That's when it's hard to be like, it wasn't my fault. But you can't blame the tendy. As goalies know, we don't blame the tendies no matter what.
I do now. By the way, I blame tendies now. I'm sorry. I mean, I know you're like, I I'm no
I can't.
longer. I'm far removed from being a goalie. So like now it's like I'm in blame goalie mode.
I'll take the goalie. I'll be the goalie head of the podcast. I'll carry that torch.
Yeah, I'm like the defensive guy. I mean, that's the
That's
role
fair.
I play. Yeah, I think that you can't blame goalies, but like, can you? Like, probably. Sometimes goalies just like have bad games. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens.
I mean,
But yeah,
I've had
great
my
day.
fair share of bad games.
Yeah, great day to be Peter Baum. Let's look at some other games. Anything else stand out to you from the weekend? Like, I know Duke fucking kicked the shit out of Bellarmine, which like, yeah, like that happened. I mean, Brennan O'Neill's still really good at lacrosse. That's like
He
I
shoots
kind of
the
and
ball really
Josh
hard.
Shawada, yeah, Josh Shawada had a fucking great like welcome to Duke moment. He kind of went off.
I think Merrimack deserves a little shout out. I think they're their second year D1 here, coming out with an opening win against Bucknell, who hasn't been the greatest per se, but I still think that's a big win for Merrimack. I think watch out for them. Sneaky team to look out for. You get those guys who think they're getting disrespected coming from the D2 level. I think they're out for some blood. So that's a
yeah, I
big
think
opening
Merrimack's
for them.
good. I think they're going to be a great program for a couple of years now. They're probably like in the NEC or something, but Merrimack's good. That's a good team. Let's move to the Maryland Richmond game, double OT.
Oh yeah, that was you take the lead with this one, Dukes. Unless you want me to go first.
I don't want to be a Maryland hater, so you go.
I'm not a Maryland hater, but I'm going to say two things. Richmond's either really, really fucking good or they just have Maryland's number, or Maryland's not as good as they should be. I thought Maryland was going to handle them, but Richmond plays Maryland really fucking tight year in and year out, it seems, and it just seems like they can't get that win in overtime. But watch out for the fucking Spiders. I mean, right, every time I thought Maryland was going to pull away, the Spiders, that goalie down in Richmond, he played unbelievable. I'm not sure his age, if he's young or old, but he played unreal. And then that offense scored when they needed him to. I mean, it would have been great to get one in OT. Maryland really didn't let him breathe in overtime. I didn't see Richmond get any good shots. But I think the Spiders are a team to watch as always. I'm a big Spider guy. Had some friends who played there. But yeah, I don't hate Maryland. It's just you expect a team like that to be able to take control against a team like Richmond, and they really haven't for a few years now. So I shouldn't be as surprised as I was.
Yeah, I think that, having a goalie like Logan McNaney, veteran goalie, led you to Final Four, led you to a national championship, having him for a double overtime game is always going to help. Then you got Braden Erska. Probably botched that one, but he's a stud. I think he's one of their better players from last year. But I just was hoping for, I guess, Maryland to take a step further with the core that kind of came back from last year, and then returning McNaney. So I don't know. I expected more of Maryland. I think they're going to be a team that they're a Final Four pick for me. I mean, it's just when you return a core and the talent they have, and you bring it back with Tillman for one more year, it's tough for me not to like that. So I was a little disappointed, but I mean, they got the fucking win. So at the end of the day, who really fucking cares? It's all hearsay.
Yeah.
We're just like having this sports talk radio bullshit that like
They
they didn't win by enough. They didn't cover the spread.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fucking February game for Maryland. I do not care that they didn't win by more or anything. Am I nervous? No, they'll be back in fucking May. That's the end of the story, really, with that. Is there any other low key? I feel like those were the big games, and Loyola kicked the shit out of Georgetown, but
Rutgers, big win over Lehigh. I wasn't sure. I haven't been as tuned into Rutgers since Kirsty left. And there's people saying that Colin Kirst, when he beat Lehigh in the tournament, he changed the trajectory of that program forever. Kirst will never say it himself, but he sat on the bench for 4 years at Lehigh and then kicked the living shit out of him in the tournament 2 years ago. So still kind of feels good just to see Rutgers get a win, but the Lehigh Hawks are not a team to sleep on. So I think that both those teams are going to be kind of sticking around from the Patriot League. Kind of a slept-on game there down in, I think it was down at Rutgers.
Yeah, look, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't really watch anything outside of those games. I caught some games. I caught some where it's just I think they're really fucking good. I caught some of the Syracuse Vermont game. Syracuse is
unreal.
yeah, like that trio with Leo, Thompson, Joey Spallina is so fucking good. Will Mark and Cage. I know
Did you watch enough of the game to see the two Princeton guys on Syracuse? I was thinking of you.
Yeah.
Sitting there with a handle of bourbon, just slugging it because their names just kept popping up on the screen.
Yes.
And then
I saw like Christian Muley got fucking like decked in the Colgate game.
Yep. I respect a play like that though. That guy came in and just fucking took his head off, and they were talking shit to each other going towards the box. So I love a gritty play like that from both guys. He was standing his ground. The kid who hit him turned around and said, he probably said, "I'll fucking come and knock your fucking head off again."
Yeah. Yeah, like, and you just know, like the way that I'm trying to look this up right now because it's so fucking funny. But Christian Muley was just talking so much shit. It was so fucking Long Island. Like
I loved it.
I'm trying to find.
He followed his ass all the way to the box.
I don't even know what to like. I don't even know what to like. Muley, Colgate, like I don't even fucking know.
If you type in Syracuse hit, it might pop right up on Twitter. But while you're looking that up, another game I bet on was Georgetown, like minus 300 against Loyola. Loyola beat the living piss out of them.
Yeah, 18-10.
I think I tweeted during the game, like, Georgetown, like, wake up, or Georgetown, like, please help me, just, like, begging for the betting gods to come through. They never stood a chance. I think if I'm Loyola, that's, like, one of the most disrespectful lines I've ever seen, to come out that much of an underdog and to beat the shit out of a team 18-10. If I'm those guys, that's just enough to piss me off for a couple weeks until the season really gets rolling. So
I guess the close down on last week's games, what was the team that impressed you the most?
It might be Denver, because I thought Denver was kind of like, they came out as a huge underdog. I thought maybe everyone was right that Hopkins is really fucking good and Denver's not going to be the best. You know, I can't tell you last time they were in the Final Four. I know they had their glory days. I know they've had some really good teams, but I sort of was out on Denver, and they got me right back in. I mean, I watched them. That's probably the one game I watched the most, and they just quite literally willed themselves back into the game, and Hopkins didn't do themselves any favors. So Denver definitely surprised me the most, I think.
Yeah, and I think that my chalk is probably going to be Syracuse. Just what they were able to do in those first two games. I know it was Vermont and Colgate, but what the freshmen looking like sophomores, and the steps and leaps they made in the offseason, and the two Princeton transfers. Look, I'm not saying Cuse is like going to win a national championship this year, but Spallina will win a Tewaaraton in the next. It's either Spallina, like everyone's talking about CJ Kurz, Schellenberger, Kavanaugh. Just put fucking Spallina in that conversation right now.
Yeah.
Like he is so goddamn good. The people that were saying like last year after one game, like, is he a bust? Should he have been? Shut the fuck up.
Insane.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
He's special. I think Cross is one of the sports where you can just tell when people are that much better than everyone around them. I think that's why you're able to pick out those top five guys. He doesn't get the love he should probably be getting. So I'm happy to be. I'll be a Spallina podcast any day of the week.
Yeah, Spallina, come on.
Yeah, come on, Alex.
We won't play fuck, marry, kill.
On.
Yeah, hop on.
No, we'll do whatever you can. If you got any ideas, we'll do it your way. You're the superstar. We're just here along for the ride, like Duke said.
Closing off on the week, mid-major, major performance of the weekend. Nest, do you have someone lined up for you?
I have two guys. I was trying to get away from the games we talked about. Both just coincidentally happen to be former Cabrini players. It's just a monster coincidence. I would never go and search for Cabrini guys to try to give the shout out for. First one is Cole Wesner down in Hartford Community College. He puts up 4 against Salisbury. He hasn't played lacrosse since the year 2020, an official lacrosse game. He's back. He's a former Penn State commit. He's unbelievable at the sport of lacrosse. He's going to tear it up for Hartford this year, and just watch out for Cole Wesner in the future. He's the type of kid that if he does what I know he can do, we'll be watching him for a few years, eventually on the big screen. And then my other one is Brady Ronner, St. John's, the Johnnies, D. Mitty, gritty guy on the Cavaliers last year, Cabrini, and he came out with an assist in his first game. He also got fucking dropped, which is just always funny to see. He claims he went down on his own, but shout out those two gritty guys, two gritty schools, and hopefully the Johnnies can go and get a win this week. They dropped one to NJIT, which, again, I bet on the Johnnies as well. When I tell you I didn't win any lacrosse bets, I went 0 for 7. So it is what it is. You just got to move forward.
Where did Cole Wesner play in 2020?
At Cabrini, he was filling in for
Did you just do two Cabrini guys?
They're both former Cabrini Cavaliers, but they both are they're both making a name on the scene again for two different reasons. So I had you said mid-major, so I went mid-major.
You went mid-major with St. John's, the Big East team, as a mid-major?
I might be misunderstanding the word mid-major. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I know what a mid-major is. I thought you just meant anyone outside of the big games. So that's what I went towards. But for real, that Cole Wesner kid's no joke when I was talking about him. That's not just a shout out for a shout out. He's one of the best lacrosse players I ever played with. So I'd be shocked if he doesn't end up somewhere in the next couple of years.
Where is he going to end up?
I would love to see him on it. I don't have any.
Do you think he'll be in the PLL?
He's the type. He has 4 years of eligibility. He never played college lacrosse. He went from Penn State to Cabrini. The COVID happened, canceled the season, and he sort of just went and did his own thing. He started working, and then we picked him up for War at the Shore last summer, and that was one of the first times I'd seen him since then. I kept in touch with him. He still got it, and then he decided he wanted to go back, get a little bit of an education, and play some lacrosse. From everything I've heard, so
is he 27?
He's probably 20. I think he just turned 22. He's 4 years younger than me, so I'm 20. I'm 26, so he's 22. So with all the COVID years and stuff they handed out, he's just like a regular guy out there. But
he's going to be Brandon Whedon for the PLL. You're saying? He's going to be 28-year-old rookie.
If like I said, if he does what he's capable of, just watch out for him. And I'm excited to see him play. I'll shoot you over a couple.
What's his pro comp?
Oh my! I mean, like a slithery Mark Matthews. I mean, he's just so he's so naturally gifted, and he's got that stick hanging around everywhere. I'll send you a couple highlights of him before the COVID canceled my senior season.
War at the Shore?
Was a freshman. No, from Cabrini when we were.
I want the War at the Shore. War at the Shore means more to me than a COVID Cabrini year.
No, it wasn't
War
a
at the Shore is everything for me.
It was before COVID, Doogs. This is when everyone's we're coming off the Natty defending the title.
I know. When it got canceled, 2020.
Yes, but before it got canceled, everything was real. It's not like the seasons after where you had fucking 8 games and you're picking and choosing your fucking schedules.
Fine. Fair. I guess I didn't know how the D3 schedules worked after those years. My mid-major major performer, Morgan O'Reilly, Sacred Heart, 7 goals, 2 assists, 9 points total.
That's great. Just to be
Shout
clear,
out to Kevin who helps us out with their social media. I would have never fucking seen that. And he was like, yo, should we give this guy a shout out? Like, I go to Sacred Heart, but I'm on the club team. Like, he did really well. I was like,
you're mid-major.
You're just feeding me. Just give me every single Sacred Heart major performer.
It's just a bunch of Cabrini and Sacred Hearts guys.
Yeah.
Kevin does a great job behind the scenes for us. He's an absolute lax rat, and so shout out Sacred Heart Lacrosse, but specifically Sacred Heart Club Lacrosse.
Yeah, he loves lax. He's good at it. He's great help behind the scenes. Let's get into the games. Let's close it out with some games of the weekend. Ness, I know that you had 4. So I was saying to Ness, like, I don't really want to go game by game, blah, blah, blah. Let's give our picks. Let's do this. We're going to get into gambling soon enough. I'm going to talk to that later, okay? Next week, we'll dive into it more. But right now, we're just going to do picks. All right? We're just going to do picks.
Nice and light with the picks.
And then we'll get it. We'll slowly incorporate gambling more into the show. Starting next week, you'll see why. That's a little hint. You'll see why. Ness.
Little surprise.
What are the 4 games that stood out to you?
This weekend, we got Maryland versus Loyola. We got Virginia versus Michigan. And Penn State versus Villanova in the 4th game of the week. Johns Hopkins versus Georgetown. And
Which one do you want to touch on first?
We don't even need to talk about the Hopkins game because I just remembered how much Georgetown fucked me. So Hopkins by 20, hopefully. Let's talk about that Maryland Loyola game because, I think Loyola, like I said, came out firing, maybe a little chip on their shoulder because of the betting odds. I know those guys are keeping eyes on that. And Maryland's got more to prove with what we were bitching and complaining about them not winning by 5 goals against Richmond. So we'll touch on that one first.
I guess if we're doing a pick, I'm actually going to bet on, Loyola coming off a high-end win, an underdog win. Pulling that off twice sounds like a lot. So we're not talking about betting, but if we're talking about
definitely
betting, I'd be like, we're not talking about betting. If I was talking about betting, I'd be like, Maryland, survives a 2 overtime game. Loyola has a highly emotional underdog. Look how we started the season. Woo, we're going to win a national championship. Then you fucking play Maryland, who fucking smacks them. And then next week we're talking on the pod, being like, holy shit, of course Maryland was going to kick the shit out of Loyola. So yeah, I don't even think this is a question. I'm taking Maryland. The only thing that scares me is 2 names on the Loyola roster that I just want to shout out.
I know one of them.
Matthew Minikis.
Yep.
I don't even know if it's Colin Minikis' brother, but this is what you get out of the Top 100 Lacrosse podcast. When I do my research, I say, oh, I know Colin Minikis. He's good at lacrosse. Oh, there's a Matthew Minikis. They share the same last name. So I'm just going to guess that has the same exact game as Colin Minikis. And Colin Minikis was really fucking good at lacrosse. So that scares the shit out of me betting against him. The other thing that it terrifies the fuck out of me of Loyola, and it has for a couple years now, is Mustang Sally. Mustang Sally is the most intimidating man in college lacrosse. For nothing he does on the lacrosse field, but for everything he has from the first name to the last name. That's the most intimidating name in any sport, I think, ever. But Mustang Sally was born to be a Division I lacrosse player. And those 2 names scare the fuck out of me. That's kind of my analysis on the game. I think Maryland's just going to smack them.
Yeah, I think Maryland is gonna snap. I'd love to see Loyola keep it close and even win. I mean, if I don't have a dog in the fight, I like rooting for the underdogs. If I'm gonna pick a team, I'm probably with Doogs. I'm probably gonna take Maryland, but it'd be nice to see Loyola come out and maybe shock some people, and then we'll really be talking about Loyola if they can come out and give Maryland either a dogfight or just hand them an L and send them packing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is it's a show me game. Loyola keeps this tight with Maryland. That probably tells me more about Loyola than it does about Maryland this year, to be honest. But
I agree.
I think Maryland's going to kick the shit out of them. Georgetown Hopkins. Georgetown coming off that, I'm going to call it embarrassing 18-10 loss to Loyola. Hopkins with a heartbreaker. Bounce back, I think last night, 13-5 against Towson. But Ness, tell me, what do you think happens? You think Georgetown bounces back? You think Hopkins responds to their first test post heartbreak against Denver? What do you see here? And we know last year Georgetown started off very slow.
Yeah.
Made it through a weak Big East, and then what happens? What Georgetown does every single fucking year in the tournament. So Georgetown Hopkins, what's your prediction?
I think I was being a little too harsh on Georgetown. I do think they're a good team, but I think Hopkins. I know you're not going to be the one to say it because you're not going to pull that 180. I think the Hop is back, and that's coming.
Oh no, I'm saying it. They're back. I love them.
You pulled the 180 now.
You're back. Because of Crowley and stuff. Yeah, I think.
Again, John Crowley, what he did. I had guys at Lehigh when he was there. He's a phenomenal lacrosse mind. And then what he did at Hopkins as a player. I mean, the story sort of wrote itself for him to come back and revive that offense is awesome. I think Hopkins is going to dominate this game. Watching them play Towson, they kind of just took control of that game and just didn't let Towson breathe. I don't think Towson's a bad fucking lacrosse team at all. So I'd expect Hopkins to come out firing in this game too. So I'm going to take the Hop.
I will say one shout out to on Georgetown. Obviously they got talent all over the field. They'll have guys going to the PLL. You got TJ Haley, who's the Graham Bundy Jr., fucking stud. But they also have James Ball, who was a top recruit, went to Yale for a little bit, face-off X. He's couldn't find himself really in the rotation. He's probably a top 2 FOGO or top recruit in the class, but couldn't find it time playing time at Yale. So seems to found a home at Georgetown. Had a good game against Loyola, went like 73%. Seems like so. Yeah, I think that's just something.
It's tough to go. It's tough to go 73% at the X and lose by 8 goals. That's for
right. That would tell me was the goalie asleep or did just nobody get off the bus for Georgetown. I'm going with Hop in that one. All right. Moving on to the next game. What was the third game that you said again?
Virginia versus Michigan.
That's the one I'm most. Yeah, that's
you're
my
most
game
excited for that one.
Yeah, that's my game of the weekend. You want to take it away first?
Yeah, so I think Virginia reloaded a lot. I really like that freshman coming out of I think it's McDonough High School. McMillan.
McCabe Millen, number 1 recruit in the country.
Millen, yeah.
Dad's Mark Millen.
Yep.
Obviously, MLL stud. Had the camps, Millen lacrosse camps that a bunch of kids used to go to. And actually, just sorry to cut you off, Ness, but did get announced today that Jack Boyden, the stud D3 player of the year from Tufts, is going to come out of a box. It seems to have a Schellenberger, McCabe Millen, Cormier trio at attack. So we're going to see some McCabe Millen at attack, but just wanted to say that out.
That's going to be a lot of fun. That Boyden kid from the Tufts kid. I was at the Cabrini Tufts game, and I watched him score the grossest goal I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. He pulled up with one hand from he was easily 12 out. I mean, he was running across the top, and he shot it one-handed. Tufts quite literally beat the living shit out of Cabrini. That's fine. I'll wear that loss. Maybe I didn't bring enough energy in the crowd. Falls on my shoulders. But, yeah, that kid's really fucking good. It's going to be cool to see him come out the box, but that attack line is going to be nuts. So I'm excited to see the freshmen. It's cool to see the freshmen go out and play the first game of the season, to go from high school. You know, you do fall ball, you do all the scrimmages, everyone plays. It's hard to get a read. To know you're going out and getting a start in that first big one against a really good Michigan team, that'll be pretty cool. But I think Virginia's going to come firing.
Yeah, and it is. You're right. It is a really good Michigan team. It's a team that got their first Big Ten title under their belts. They took Duke to the wire. They made a run in last year's tournament. They lost some pieces. They lost Zawada, but they still have enough people that returned on defense, midfield. You know, especially like Ryan Cohn, and then I think what's his fucking name? Can't even find it, whatever. But yeah, Michigan returns a lot of people. That's all I know. But speaking of Virginia, that's the team that I really like high on. Point being is I think Virginia. I'm a Notre Dame guy.
Yep. Shout out Chris Conlon, Notre Dame and the fellas.
But if you're just looking at roster wise, like just looking up and down Virginia, it's like they got the goalie, they got Nunes, they got Cole Kastner coming back. You know they're gonna have some more lanky defenders to come in for like Solstead. Yep. You have Jack Boyden, who comes from Tufts, and what I think he's gonna play is the role of help me out here. Merrimack transfer 41, Charlie Bertrand. He's gonna take on like that Charlie Bertrand role. Yeah, and he's gonna be fucking dirty out of the box for them. You got McCabe Millen, Schellenberger, Peyton Cormier. You got like studs like Joey Terenzi, who was a Manhasset kid, redshirted last year. He's someone that I'm expecting to kind of like come in, have the redshirt year, get built bigger, get builder. I saw him in high school. The kid was fucking dirty. He was a top recruit. He was fucking dirty. So, you know, I think Virginia has the goods. I think they have the goods. You know, I think Michigan returned a lot of pieces, but they didn't return everybody. And, you know, I think it's going to take some gelling to get used to. And I think that Virginia's talent just outmatches them. And I think Virginia gets this done.
I do want just one last note on Virginia. Virginia Cavaliers, Cabrini Cavaliers, they're the fake Cavaliers. I'll be the first to say it. If you're thinking Cavalier, any respectable person's thinking Cabrini, I'll die on that take. Just had to put that out to the public. But again, I think Virginia's going to win, and they got a fan of me this year, so I'll be watching.
Right, and Cabrini's the real Cavaliers for about 2 more months, and then going into Penn State, Villanova.
Oh my fucking God, dude. It's ridiculous. It's a time of mourning.
We'll have a funeral. We'll have a funeral. We'll go to the last game. The last home game.
It's against Salisbury. They're bringing in the big guns for the last Cabrini home game. That'll be a fun game to go to. I'll hold you to that.
I will go.
You're gonna have to. I'm gonna be trying to fight every Salisbury fan and player. So
You guys should all bury your jerseys on the field.
I'll fucking let the team bury me. That'd be sick. A sick way to go out.
What if Salisbury just buries them?
It'll hurt so bad. It'll hurt more than any loss I ever would have had to him. I lost a game in double OT to Salisbury. It will never a win against Salisbury to end the year for Cabrini. I'll personally storm the field. That's a guarantee.
I will too. How about that? I will too.
You can hop on my shoulders.
Penn State Nova. Nova's first game of the year. I think Penn State bounces back.
Yeah. I think Villanova's always sneaky good. Kind of always kept up with them when I was at Cabrini, but like you said, Penn State was a wagon last year towards the end of the year, and they went on that run, and they were one goal away from playing in the Natty. I find it hard to believe they're going to drop a game like they did to Colgate and come out slow against Villanova, who's, I believe this is Nova's home opener. Or sorry, it's at Penn State, but it's Nova's opener. I think both teams are good, but I think Penn State just has a little bit more to prove than Nova does. It fucking sucks to lose a game like that to Colgate to open your season, and I know they're going to come out pissed off. So I'm taking the Nittany Lions. Yeah.
I'm going to sneaky take Nova here. I think they have like just some up and coming guys. They don't have that like what's his fuck? I'm blanking so hard tonight. Fucking the Cannons, Matt Campbell. See, I'm so good, but I'm just missing Matt Campbell. They don't have a midfielder like that right now who like I feel like could step up and like get the goal that they need. But Penn State looked so unpromising. I think that Villanova have enough guys to get it done. They got Justin Capola at X, Garden City guy, so that always gives you the edge. So I'm going with Villanova in this one. Any other games stand out to you really this weekend?
Not really. I'd be demanding that we talk about Cabrini, but they don't play till the 17th, so we'll sleep on that one for another week.
Yeah, you got Syracuse Manhattan at 4 p.m. Marquette Lindenwood. Marquette trying to put Lindenwood's program to rest. But at least we have some Friday lacrosse to look forward to.
Yes,
just looking
sir.
through the schedule.
That's Marquette. Oh, Lindenwood getting fourth. We're not talking betting, but
yeah,
if you're looking for a fun line, look at that Lindenwood game.
I think that some fun games that just like stand out to me that we won't really dive into. BU Vermont, that's like a great like mid-major major game. To Northeast schools battling it out.
We never really clarified for the guys who don't know what mid-major means.
Mid-major is not like a power conference. Like
okay.
Yeah, like
all right. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. I mean, I
think
you know what? I'm not gonna.
I'm
you know
lying.
what? It's week one. I'm not gonna make fun of anybody. I'm not gonna make fun of anyone. But yeah, I think that's a game to look forward to. UMass Army. I think Army's a national championship sleeper. So just
love that.
Look out for Army. I know that's like a trendy pick right now on lacrosse Twitter, but I do think that they are a little bit of a Final Four national champ sleeper. So if you want to watch a little bit of them, tune in there. One game that I'm also intrigued by is Navy Hofstra. That speaks to me. But that's all I really got. You have any closing remarks?
Nothing really to touch on. Just one sort of random game that stands out to me is Monmouth versus LIU.
That's just trash. Just
Long
Island.
Why are you asking? There just happens to be a Cabrini guy on Monmouth.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Monmouth. We'll be keeping a close eye on those Cabrini boys. What'd you say?
Curse of the week, by the way. You want to do it?
Yeah. Let's hop into it. Got my Curse of the Week lacrosse app. So this week's Curse of the Week honorable mention is Hunter Chavette. Back-to-back hat tricks. Told you guys I'd be touching on him a little bit. We gave him as much as we could. The kid's phenomenal. I labeled him a freshman phenom. Just love that saying. He's going to be a name to watch out for. So congrats to Hunter Chavette, however you pronounce it. Follow me back on Instagram. The other shout out I'd like to give is to the Colgate Tendy. He didn't put up a lot of numbers that'll pop off the sheet, but an honorable mention for the Colgate Tendy. That's a big performance to get a win against Penn State like that to open the season. As a goalie, that feels good. That's something you can hang your hat on. And for this week's Curse of the Week winner, JJ Silstrop, Denver Lacrosse, 6 goals, it's hard to ignore talent like that. I was leaning towards Hunter Chavette at one point. Shavat, I'm going to say it every time, however you say it. But JJ Silstrop with a great game. 4 of the last 4 goals for Denver. That's a gritty performance. It took a lot of heart, and he took the game into his own hands. So that's your first ever 2024 Curse to the Week. Just watch out for when CJ starts playing, because I'd be shocked if a lot of these awards start going to him. But we are going to mix it up this year. It's not going to be handed to the Curse guys. They get first come, first serve. But just excited to be giving out the award, and might have some shirts to send out to some of the winners for some of the guys. So keep an eye out for that. No promises. We don't make promises on this podcast. But if I do get the shirts, I'll be DMing you maximum 3 times. And then if you don't answer, then I can't send you a shirt. If your boys want the shirt, they can have it. It'll be custom made, and we'll be ready to rock.
You got like psycho girl rules there. I like that. Again, reminder, if you're listening, please buy tickets to the PLL Bar Down Lounge. We greatly appreciate it. Let's
sir.
I want to see everybody there. I want to meet the people. I want to drink with the people. I want to talk lacrosse. I want to hear about like your school that's getting closed down because it's a Division III program. I want to hear about all this. So come down, drink with us, talk to us, do everything. Follow us on Instagram at the Crease Dive, TikTok, Dual Crease Dive, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Crease Dive. Follow me,
Twitter.
Doogs on all platforms. Intern Nest, what do you want to plug yourself?
Matt_Nestler40 on Instagram and mnestler40 on Twitter, baby. Hop
Sweet.
on the
And then,
wave. We're gonna be talking lacrosse and a whole bunch of fun shit.
yeah, look, this is just the first step. We're gonna get some guests going. We just wanted to find some chemistry tonight. Let's get some subscribers on YouTube. Let's get that subscriber count. Like, it takes no effort. Like below,
None.
subscribe, follow us on Rumble, make us the #1 official college or just lacrosse podcast in general on Rumble. That's all we really got. Thanks, guys. Ness, any closing remarks?
I got nothing here. Just excited. Lacrosse is back. It feels good. I'm happy to be sitting shotgun with you driving the ship, Duke. So I think Jordie left in good hands with you, and I'm happy to give you whatever you need.
Thanks, guys. Be nice to each other. Stay safe. See you next time.